Hello, everyone, and welcome to the BuzzStream podcast. I'm Vince Nero, your host, and today I'm joined by Chris Panteli, co-founder of Linkifi and the host of the Market Movers podcast. How you doing, Chris?
I'm very good. Thanks for having me, Vince.
Yeah, so Chris, I had the opportunity to speak on the Market Movers podcast, which was really cool. And so, we started discussing some topics, digital PR, link building, SEO stuff, and thought it would be awesome to have Chris on the BuzzStream podcast to kind of tell his side of the story.
Interrogation.
Yeah. No, where we kind of landed, I think, was talking about kind of the challenges of success, measuring digital PR, measuring success and defining success even. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. I'm really excited about it. Before I do get into it, I just want to remind everyone to like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, rate and review the podcast, whatever you can do to get this stuff out to your colleagues and friends. It helps me bring on great guests like Chris. So let's start at the beginning here. Something I like to do with a lot of guests nowadays, I'm realizing, is to define digital PR, because everyone seems to have a slightly different definition and take and kind of where they draw the line, especially with you between even SEO, like link building versus digital PR. So let's start there. Can you define digital PR?
Yeah, sure. That is a tricky one, just because PR is an old industry, far older than the internet. And I come from an SEO background, and so link building for us, my answers are going to be from the perspective of of a link builder, and it's probably been hijacked by link builders because it was seen as an opportunity to get awesome links. So the way that I feel about digital PR specifically is that it's link building, but it's earned media link building. So you are editorially earning those links by giving value to either the journalists as an expert comment piece, or as a story which the journalist wants to run with, and then you hope with your fingers crossed that they link back to your website. And if they don't link, then you have systems in place to try and get the link. But yeah, it's a tricky one to nail down, because there will be people, businesses, brands, where their sort of KPIs and their expectations of undergoing PR or digital PR will be far different to that being offered from a traditional PR agency compared to that of like an SEO based digital PR agency, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's a great explanation. And I'm curious though, like, do you run into that a lot where potential clients come in and there's kind of a mismatch between what they're asking for and what you're delivering?
We get quite a few client calls, especially as we're growing and we're starting to speak to larger potential brands. We do sort of see that their expectations in terms of deliverables in the way that we offer it to our clientele, which has been very much from that SEO orientated space, does seem to be, I would say, not aligned in the same way that they have lower expectations. And you can think of it like brands that maybe run like TV ad spots, or, huge brands with big budgets, and links might not be something that they fully understand or are fully expecting as part of that like deliverable for a large ongoing PR campaign. So we see it sometimes with clients not fully understanding digital PR as well, in the sense that we are trying to earn that coverage with that end deliverable being the link. And we are trying to earn that coverage on behalf of the client by getting journalists excited about something. So it can be hard to explain to certain clients that there needs to be like a lot of leeway and flexibility in terms of like the stories and the narrative that we're going to try and get in front of the journalists. Because you might sit on a client call with 100 million a year SaaS company that does email deliverability tool, but if they want us to get something specifically about their tool into mainstream media, it's not something which like resonates with the news cycle per se. So
I
there
see.
can be a disconnect in that regard. Whereas if you're speaking to the SEO manager of a large brand who wants links, then they understand it, and then it's just a question of being on the same page in terms of how you can position the brand in order to get the maximum number of links, the best, most highest tier coverage.
Yeah, so I mean, that's probably a good segue into my next question, which is like you, like I also have a more of a SEO, like link builder background. Well, I worked at an agency for a long time that did kind of more of like the SEO first approach. Like we did a fair amount of digital PR, but again, like I think it was more to support the SEO goals rather than say just the brand in general, right?
Mhm.
Like people weren't coming to us for brand awareness and that sort of thing. So let's talk about kind of your thoughts on how SEO and digital PR play. What role does SEO have in digital PR these days?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think we're in a golden era of those two paths crossing because I mean, I still think there is a place for traditional like link building. And again, it's niche specific, depends what niche you're in, it depends what budget you've got, it depends what your SEO strategy is as a brand or as a business. It also depends on your risk tolerance. So I'm not going to deny that if you want to rank a high value money page in Google and you're in the casino link, you're going to need to be engaging in like guest posts, niche edits with a healthy sort of ongoing, never ending monthly budget towards those inner page link purchases, simply because that's what your competitors do. And that's what Google is determining what it's going to rank and where it's going to rank. But we are now obviously seeing Google not being the be all and end all of search. People are searching on different platforms. Traffic is can be derived from not just Google, but also like the large language models now, Search GPT. Search is happening everywhere. And I think it's a wise assumption to make that all of these tools, including Google, are best positioned to protect their business and their interests to surface trusted and valued content and opinions. And the way that we can achieve that and position ourselves as brands as being trusted is by getting featured in other mainstream trusted media. And then if that's where we're also deriving our links from, it's like a win-win situation. So I think it like really fuels SEO as a strategy. And also, if you are doing other SEO link building tactics, then it just gives you some protection as well, because you need to have, especially in terms of Google, like a natural looking backlink profile. You don't want to just have a load of purchased links going to your money page. You want to water that down a bit with some like high authority trusted links that look supernatural because they are, because you've earned them, you've editorially earned them as well.
Yeah, you said something at the end there that stuck out to me. This idea of, if you want to win in terms of Google, like, you need the links. I guess my question and kind of where my head's going with this is like, you hear this a lot where it's like, well, if Google didn't exist, would these links still be valuable? How does that play into the strategy? Like if people are, the casino industry is like a great example of that because I get what you're saying. Like there are certain industries where link building is very important, more of like the traditional link building, maybe even link purchasing, like, and it's almost like a quantity over not over quality, but like it is a quantity game. But sometimes you look at some of those links, and again, like if Google didn't exist, I mean, are those sites completely toast, right? Like, are those links valuable at all? Or is it all wasted money? Like, where does that play into kind of thinking through the strategy of digital PR and SEO?
Yeah, exactly, and that's sort of my point, is that if you're going to engage in a link building tactic for the purposes of uh, gaining your Google traffic or maintaining Google traffic, if that's your core primary focus, then why not engage in a link building activity that has benefits above and beyond that of what you will get with Google? So Google, obviously, we need to build our EEAT. We need to position ourselves as a trusted brand. We need wider visibility of being trusted and authoritative. So if we get digital PR coverage and we earn, tier one media links, we're ticking all of those boxes with Google. But we then have all these other like huge advantages to us as a business. First of all, we've been featured in huge publications. So we're going to get referral traffic. So that's customers, maybe new potential customers or existing customers, either seeing you for the first time, or it's another point in a multi-touch point buyer journey. They're seeing your brand. Oh, I've heard of them. Oh, they've been featured here. Oh, they've been written about in this article. So you're getting all of that. Then you're also being able to tell your customers that are hitting your website, hey, we are a clothing brand or we are a sporting brand. And look, we've been featured in Men's Health, Forbes, New York Times, BBC. So you're going to instantly instill trust on the customers that land on your landing page and increase conversions for your customers there. You're then also building brand recognition, brand credibility outside of Google, and potentially feeding a more of a controlled narrative into the large language models. So if people are searching on new AI-backed platforms like SearchGPT or Gemini, then where are these large language models getting their information? If someone's typing in what are 5 good clothing brands to get running shorts from, like where's that information coming from? If your brand's been featured 1,000 times as having great running shorts, or have been an expert in providing running shorts, and it's been in publications which everyone trusts, it's going to have a multiplier effect. So I just think it's just a great thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, I love that for one. Like, I am totally in alignment there, and I'm thinking about going back to what you said, like these clients that might come in who have maybe differing values in terms of like the brand worth, right? Like you said, maybe it's $100 million revenue SaaS company, and they have budget to burn on PR, and they want to do these like big tentpole, live events or whatever product in-person things and billboards, and that's TV spots. But like, if digital is important to them, and more and more of users are gravitating towards this, right, for their buying journey, it feels like a win-win. So I mean, do you have those conversations with those? I guess the question is, like, have you ever been able to convince someone who is more interested in like the traditional side that something like digital is kind of maybe a longer term solution for them?
Well, that's a good question. I'm not sure about convincing. I think with digital PR, it attracts a higher price, and I think once people, as an agency, once people reach us, they especially if they're on a call, then they have an understanding normally of the value of the link, and then we're in a position to then say the additional benefits above and beyond that. We have had one thing which I have noticed a lot is, especially in SaaS as well, is people thinking that PR would be a great way to digital PR. This is a great way to publicize maybe a new tool feature or a new part of their business model, which obviously it can be. But again, that can be a trickier sell, simply because if we're offering sort of the link as the KPI and the quality of the link, then it's a trickier thing to do, is to get a new feature of like quite a SaaS tool that maybe not be that sexy, to get that like mentioned or quoted in mainstream online media is trickier. And that's probably where maybe traditional PR or like press releases or social media might be like a better way for them to achieve the results that they're looking for. So currently the link, that high value link, is the core offering. And then the other benefits are many, but additional. And we're also in a super, I mean, this, Vince, this industry is changing so quickly and then everything around it is changing quickly. I mean, we can't breathe at the minute with these Google core updates. Like, they just released another one, and it's like everything is happening. Search GPT comes out, Google might be getting split into 2-3 parties. It's just impossible to keep up. So
Yeah, it's wild times for sure. And well, yeah, let's get into kind of the successes and measuring success, because I think that probably plays a lot into this. Because what used to be a success was link quantity years ago, right? Didn't matter where you were getting them from, you just got them. And as we've seen, fast forward to 2024, helpful content updates, a few link spam updates, we're really seeing this quantity thing kind of go out the door, right? It's all
Mhm.
focused on quality, relevance. So let's start there. How do you measure success for your clients' digital PR? Because obviously, to caveat that as well, or build on that as well, is like there's the organic traffic side. There's like way more. There's the SEO side of things, not just links. So yeah, how do you quantify success digital PR?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're not a full service SEO agency. Also, we only do digital PR link packages, and therefore our like KPI is that off fulfilling that client order with the set number of links they bought with the best possible quality links that we can get for them. And the way that we measure the quality of a link is DR, which is Ahrefs like third party metric, Ahrefs estimate of the domain traffic, and then also the relevancy as well. And that can be on a domain level, like topical relevancy on a domain level or an article level, or it can even be like on a contextual level, just on the quote. Obviously, the higher all of those are, the better. We are launching a new service where we're going to be doing target page sprints fueled by digital PR, because we just see so much success for our clients that are doing SEO well themselves and buy digital PR links from us. You can just see everything is going up. So a well executed SEO strategy with digital PR links. The success is obviously in an increase in traffic for the customer, more sales, more conversions, more calls booked, whatever you want to say. But because we're not full service and we don't currently do the SEO for us, our success is delivering, 5 or 10 or 20 or 50 of the creme de la creme PR links. But like I said, with our new sprints, and obviously we are SEOs as well, me and my business partner. So once we've like nailed down that strategy, then we know we can see huge, significant improvements just because, especially a lot of like local service businesses and stuff, they've got great businesses and maybe they've been with like an SEO agency for 5 years, paying $1,000 a month for like 2 guest posts and maybe like you said, high volume of like links that are crap, 20 links off Fiverr or something. Like it just doesn't work. Whereas, some well optimized content, some good internal links, and some amazing high authority homepage links can be all you need to have like a roofing company go from spot 4 on page 1 of Google up to spot 1, which to them is like hundreds of thousands of dollars or pounds or wherever you are, more revenue. So yeah, everything fueled by digital PR is the way that I would see it, and I would measure the success in the quality as well. Actually, just to add to that, because I do see many, this industry is fast moving and relatively new-ish, I would say as well, and I do see people like flogging digital PR, but it's not digital PR. So this is something that I try and talk about like on social as well, and I just tell people to be careful, just because it really should be earned media, and like buying a newswire press release where you get like 1,000 links off. You've seen them, there's like kw8news.com, there might be like a
Yeah, a little
Yahoo in there.
syndicated, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Now there's nothing wrong with like a good syndicated link. We got a client a link the other day that got syndicated onto Forbes. Happens all the time. Like that's great. But if you're paying for a wire release for like 200 links, there's zero value. So I mean that there can be value to that. Like I said, the clients that have got a new SaaS tool feature that they want to sort of get out there as much as they can, then paying 200 quid to have like a press release done, you can then publicize the press release more on social media. So there's like a place for it, but not to fuel your existing SEO efforts and to have that like growth trajectory. Yeah, that's where digital PR comes into its own.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and to dig into it a little bit more. So does your team, does Linkify create the assets as well for people, or like are you using existing content? How do you actually generate the links for clients? Like if BuzzStream came to you and was like, hey, I'm going to get 10 links, like what do you do?
So we execute a range of digital PR strategies. So we'll do inbound expert commentary, which is maybe we should all just take a moment of silence for the death and demise of Harrow, which was recently announced. Harrow being the biggest proponent of this sort of link building, but albeit not the only one. It was in a slow decline for a while. There are many other places to find these journalist requests, and we define that as inbound. So that's you as a business, as a brand, as an individual. That's you waiting for these requests to come in. So that will be a journalist either utilizing a platform or their own social media saying, I'm writing an article for this publication and I need an expert to give me 2 or 3 sentences in order to put it in my article. And obviously for the journalist, that enhances the credibility and the quality of their article. And for us as potential contributors to that expert commentary request, if they like our quotes and they include us, then we're going to be featured and quoted in an amazing publication by a great journalist and also get a link. So that's inbound. And obviously some clients are perfectly aligned for that because let's say we were doing BuzzStream and you came to me, Vince, and said, yeah, you can pitch the media as me. I'm a marketing PR expert. Then bada boom, bada bing. That's great. Some clients are less suited. Maybe it's a very large company and they don't want anybody like publicly speaking without everything. Yeah. Or maybe the industry is just like not interested at all. And it's better suited for another type of PR. So the other types, actually, the other thing to say, inbound is a bit more US centric, I would say. So you get journalists more from the US publications, your Forbes, your New York Times, and New York Posts. They are a bit less receptive to the outbound PR, which is traditionally more like a UK centric thing. So not to say that there isn't both on either, but yeah, a bit more US centric on the inbound, get some great links. And also many of the publications or the journalists that source for the publications via the inbound expert commentary on platforms like Harrow, now defunct, or Press Plugs, Quoted, Editorial, all the other ones. Many of those journalists write for publications that's the only way to get a link on them. So they are just not receptive to, they don't have journalists like in a traditional sense that are like looking at their inboxes in order to publish stories. They're very high authority publications, but they maybe have an editorial team, an editorial calendar, and they're just not open to anything else. So the only way to win those links and that coverage is by answering the journalists or the writers that are requesting for expert commentary. Then on the other side, we have outbound. So that's where rather than waiting for the journalists to come to us, we go to the journalists. And that's where we have an ideation session. We come up with stories that are interesting, but also will be good for the brand with relevancy. Obviously, the dream is to come up with something that could go viral. And then we build a list of journalists from a media database, either journalists that we know have covered a similar story in the past, or we know will be receptive to this type of story based on the beat that they work in. And then we send those stories off and we do follow-ups. And if the story doesn't work, we rework it and we send it out again and so forth.
So, and with those stories, are those like content led, or are they call like asset less? Like, is it, does it live on the blog somewhere and then you're pitching that, or is it just a data piece or something?
Sorry, I was so into telling you that answer, I'd actually forgotten your original question, but I was getting to that.
That's all right.
Right. So yeah, on the inbound, obviously that's just, you are just providing expert commentary on behalf of the expert representative of the website. On the outbound, that's where we're looking at what we're doing, how are we coming up with those stories, where are we getting it? So firstly, the first thing we do is we have quite a robust onboarding system, because some companies are sitting on PR gold and maybe they don't even know it. Maybe they have got like a shit ton of internal data. Maybe they've got internal tools, stuff that is just, you could just say like, it's so interesting. Can you tell us this? Can you tell us that based on your own internal data? So that's the first place that we look as part of the onboarding. What internal data have you got? What internal data would you be happy to share? So that's the best place you should always look. Obviously that's not every company. A lot of companies don't have interesting internal data. Maybe they've got interesting anecdotes or stories. They can put all of that in the onboarding, but that's a really good place to look. Then what we would do is we would look whether or not we're going to be running reactive campaigns or data-led campaigns. And reactives is where we're looking at what we can react to with what's happening in the news right now, or what we know will come up in the news. So for example, everybody knew Halloween was coming up. Let's say we took on a client that was a blood bank. Maybe, let's say it was a blood bank client. We know Halloween's coming up. Maybe we could do something really interesting with that. We're going to react to Halloween with a really interesting story from a blood bank because blood and Halloween work together. It's off the top of my head. Or maybe we say, hey, we've got this blood bank. They've got loads of amazing internal data about like people that give blood. And apparently like loads of people in one particular state give way more blood than anything else. Maybe we can get all of that data and we can come up with this amazing story. Would you believe it? Southern states in America give 75% more blood than any other state, something like that. But obviously you need to take the data, analyze it, see if you can find the narrative, find something that's interesting. If they don't have their own data, then we can look to scrape or source data on our own that fits with the relevancy in the niche of the client. That we think is really interesting, and we can put the story together. So with the blood bank, maybe they've got no data, but maybe we go, well, look, you're a blood bank and it's coming to Halloween. We'll go and find out, let's say, who gives the most blood in the UK, let's say. And we can do that by maybe scraping publicly available data. We could do a freedom of information request, which is where like the UK government, I think the US has something similar as well, where they have to give you the data. And we could find a story that way. And just final point, a great thing which we can do then is we can have that as a content piece, as an asset live on the client's website. We could also create infographics or other interesting things from that, which works really well, especially if it's like a visual, if it explains an interesting idea in a really visual way. That can then live on the client's website, and that can attract links naturally over time as well. And it's also a great asset for them to have in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I love that kind of toolkit there. I guess, and the reason I wanted to kind of ask that was because I know like a lot of that stuff can overlap with SEO teams, right? Like, so there's an SEO team in-house and maybe you're creating content for their site, for their blog, or for, you mentioned some of the, say they're releasing a new product or they have a target page or something that they want to build links to. So to kind of get back to the success piece of that, where do you and how do you kind of play with the internal team, like on the client side, when, say they want 10 links or something, you go and get them 10 links. Is that it? Kind of stories over there? Or are you also looking at organic traffic? You're looking at direct traffic, referral traffic. How involved do you get with these clients?
Currently, we don't. I mean, we deal with a lot of SEO managers. We deal with a lot of marketing teams from companies that will have hired us as part of their broader link building strategy. So,
Got it.
like I said, that's something we're moving to, just because we deal with a lot of clients, varied clients, and the clients that we have that like know what they're doing, or at least have like an executable SEO strategy in hand in terms of their content and on page, everything else that they're doing, and they're just saying, well, look, we've got this covered, we're buying guest posts here, we're doing niche edits, or maybe they don't do any other sort of link building, but they're doing like great content pieces that's being pushed on social, and they're doing all of that good stuff, and they're just using us for the digital PR links. You can just see, I do look in Ahrefs on a client by client basis, especially when we've wrapped up like an order and we want to see if they reorder. If clients are less SEO savvy, then although it's an amazing thing to still do, you should always build PR links. In my opinion, they'll last, they won't degrade, then they'll have all of those additional advantages outside of just like the SEO value. But it's going to be less effective than if you are implementing like a good holistic SEO strategy as well. Which is why obviously we're going to be doing this, sprint fueled by SEO, just because we know, especially in things like local or less competitive spaces, or industries where just no one else is doing it, like you'll see a big difference quickly.
Yeah, elaborate on that, because even though you guys don't do this, right? Like you're only a piece of the puzzle. Obviously, like with your SEO background, you understand where you fit in the puzzle. So, like, what should people be looking at, right? Like if they're hiring you, right, to build links, especially for the people who are not SEO savvy, it's like, okay, I got to build links. Like, what are kind of the secondary benefits of that outside of just like, here are links? Like, what should they be looking for? What is success? What successes come from the link building, that the sort of PR links that you are building?
Well, I mean, in recent times, what we found is it does build a more of an algorithmic protection from Google. So having even just a basket of decent digital PR links will have less of an impact on sites that are potentially going to be have been hit algorithmically, by a change in Google's algorithm. So it can provide that fortress. It can also reinvigorate a website which is plateaued. We see that all the time. And most of our clients are SEO savvy to the point where they are implementing a strategy which is working. Not many people come to invest in digital PR if they're like on a downward and flat trajectory. Normally, things are going well. They're then looking to outsource and grow. I think there's been a big shift in public perception of link building in recent months, and even the last couple of years, where we're becoming more and more picky and choosy and wary of where we're buying our links from, and the impact and the safety. I mean, we went through the mass manual de-indexation of websites, the spam link penalties that were given to websites. So it's an era now where most people that are at a point where they're ready to make an investment in digital PR, they are doing well enough to know that it's going to have a positive impact, and it's just it's PR, isn't it? I mean, that's what Google wants to see. And that's what should happen to a business that's doing well. They're going to get talked about on the internet by big brands and publications. It's just,
Yeah, I mean, totally. That makes a lot of sense. And I'm wondering too, now, like we've talked about kind of the higher end links, right? Like the top tier media links, well-known, authoritative, do the other links just not have value? Like, where do you see that, these links that, maybe I start a blog, it's a great blog, it's got great quality content. I put a lot of effort into it. I've got little to no traffic because I just started it. But like, it's written by someone who knows what they're talking about, right? Does that have value? Like, how do you quantify something like that for a client who might look at that and just be like, well, like say it's highly relevant, obviously, but
mm-hmm.
It's a low DA, low DR, low site traffic. Does that not have any value?
Is this the link we've built for them, or my opinion if I saw that they got these links themselves?
Either or. I mean, I guess like you obviously wouldn't build them, right? Because you have those minimums, right? But like, yeah, like say maybe they built it naturally somehow.
Okay. Yeah, I do think there is still value in that sort of link building. And I think it comes down to a number of factors, how competitive your specific industry is. I think, like I said, more competitive industries is not a question of is there value. It's like, well, you have to do it just to maintain rankings, like casino, very high competitive industries such as that. But also, like, we shouldn't just blindly trust third-party metrics of like tools like Ahrefs or SEMrush and just say, oh, this is a DA, a DR such and such. It's a massive DR and therefore it's a great link. Or, oh, this is only a DR 20. It's a rubbish link. Like, it definitely doesn't work like that. And if you're in the SERPs or you're working with clients and you're testing and you're watching, you will see this as well. I spoke to Dennis Yu recently on our podcast, and he was talking about how he does this like networking thing with a lot of local businesses. So already it's starting to sound a bit like three-way link exchangey, which is like, oh no, that's like a terrible thing. But it's not that. What he's saying is, hey, look, if you're a dentist in the Chicago area and you can network with dentists from all over the US, dentists in states miles and miles away from you, is it not a great thing for you as a dentist in Chicago to get a link from a small dentist in Illinois? He's never going to compete with you, but he's a real business that's been like online for decades. It makes sense for him to maybe link to a piece of content that's come from your site, and he links to a piece of content that's from your site. It might be like a DA20 or DA30, but that is such a relevant link it's it's going to be super authoritative and powerful, and especially if he links to a piece of informational content on the Chicago dentist website, and then the Chicago based dentist has internally linked from that informational content to one of their service pages. Like, you're really starting to like understand the game now and win with these working like that, and then add PR links on top of that, just to sort of say, yeah, well, everything's good here. And yeah.
I like that as the everything's going well, where
Yeah.
nothing to see on the other side. The thing that kind of that spurred for me is this idea of like, okay, so you got digital PR links going, right? Are there ever any instances where other link building might kind of hurt the digital PR? Or like, have you ever had any instances where like a client is doing a specific type of link building and you're like, you should probably not be doing that, and it can almost nullify the digital PR top tier links that you're doing?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I used to be in the operational side like a lot more, and I would see we have alerts set for all clients. Obviously, we don't want to miss a single link, so we have like automated alerts on the client's brand name, the person that might be quoted across multiple platforms, plus manual searches daily, weekly, monthly. So anything that comes in, we will see. And I did used to see this a bit more, maybe 18 months ago, where we'd have a client that we'd be building amazing links for, and then like it would come in that they'd got like these other 5 links, and it's like, okay, were these us? And we go, well, no, these are rubbish links. These are paid for guest posts. Obviously, you can smell them from the screen. They're just so obvious. So I would think, it's not us. They must be doing this additionally to PR. Is it going to move the needle for them? Again, it depends how and what they were doing. If they bought 1,000 links off Fiverr that all went to the homepage, let's say, then that's not going to do anything. If it was a dentist that had like a money page that was at spot 4 on Google, and his 3 main competitors above him had like 1 or 2 links each going to their money pages, and he just bought a couple of links, so we had 2 or 3 more than him, and then it pushed him up because he was also doing digital PR, then that's like a great strategy, isn't it? It's also risk tolerance, though. Will that work forever?
Mm-hmm.
But then also long term is links going to be something around forever in Google, which again is why, for me, if you're going to invest in links, at least you get all the additional benefits from the digital PR links, as opposed to.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah, I mean, I remember kind of getting into a fight with another agency, like a previous agency that a client was using, because we just found like a ton of, and they might have actually still been using them in addition to us. Like, we were creating kind of more content driven PR link building assets, and they were doing kind of more like traditional, resource page and broken link building and that sort of thing. But they had created, it was like a fragrance company, and they had created like the history of beekeeping or something was like this
Right.
asset on their site, and they got like a ton of links to it, but we were like, man, this has nothing to do with fragrances at all, right? Like, and so like we got in this fight with this link building company because they're like, oh, look at all these great links, and we're like, yeah, but like it's not doing anything. And our thought was like, it's what, it's potentially, I call it like weighing it down, right? Like it's weighing our efforts down in a way where it's if you think of the link profile of a site, it's like, Google probably looks at it at the averages of like, it's got a lot of high quality ones relevant, and then there's like these other ones down here, low quality, but they're relevant, and then low quality, low relevance is like kind of dragging that value down. So yeah, I feel like when you get into successes and failures, I guess, for clients, like it does, and sites in general, like there's a lot of, it depends, right?
Mhm.
There's a lot of circumstances, a lot of, mitigating, circumstances. But I think the thing I'm hearing from you a lot is it really depends on what the competitors are doing. It sounds like that is something that drives a lot of the strategy, and kind of just even the thought process of like where these brands are at. Would that be correct?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, if you're a mom and pop blogger with like 1,000 monthly organic sessions and you're making $200 a month, then the digital PR link building is not something I would recommend in a million years. Like, you need to do everything else first. Content, make sure you understand what it means to rank. Is organic Google search traffic, should that be your main focus? Is that somewhere that's you should set yourself up for the long term or the medium to long term? Like, could you blow up on a different platform that's not Google, in which case you would never even need possibly to consider link building, like paid for links. You may want to consider digital PR in the future, but all of these things are to take into account. Whereas, if you're I had a client on the other day who makes loads and loads of money for his local service business from Google. So he hasn't really noticed the latest 3 updates. He's just seen one other competitor come in and nudging above him on a few keywords, which to him is like a shit ton of money every month he's losing.
Yeah.
So he wants to get that back. So how does he do that? He's got to look at the 2 things that move the needle in Google organic rankings, which is content and links. So it 100% makes sense for him, at least now, to go, okay, I don't want to be underneath this guy on this keyword. I need to be above him because I make double the money or whatever it is. So it's so many variables, but looking at your competition is got to be one of them, because we want to beat our competition, or we don't want to lose potential earnings from our competition. I mean, you must know this with BuzzStream. You got competition, Vince. You got to beat them.
I know. Yeah. And I mean, again, it's not just even competition that drives it. Again, I heard you say, the site, it's, what does success look like? What is, the current situation for you right now? That success in link building might be different. And it was obviously a few months ago, even, or a few years ago. So I guess it's a really tough thing to quantify success and define success. There's really no line in the sand or hard definition that you can say with this. I mean, we can say links, quality, and authority right now is the most important thing, but who knows? Maybe, Chris, I'll have you on in a year and we'll recap this and see what has changed.
Yeah, well, that would be great. I'm 100% focused on seeing where the LLMs are deriving the information that they surface. So I'm very much of the opinion that it's going to be about links. I think one day it'll be maybe less about the actual intrinsic link itself, but the brand mention. I think that's going to be maybe as important as the link. Actually, I think you may have even mentioned that when you were on my podcast, which can be earned in the exact same way with doing digital PR and getting featured in these publications. But to see where this new avenue of search will take us, at the end of the day, we want to be optimized for everything, because we want to appear everywhere so that we get faces on our service, on our product, and we make money. So it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. I mean, if you'd have asked me 12 months ago, what would we be talking about 12 months time? It's mental, isn't it?
yeah, it's wild. It's wild. Well, great place to wrap up there, Chris. Thank you so much. Super smart insights here and kind of strategy takeaways. And anybody that's listening can find Chris on LinkedIn, find him on Twitter, X. And like I said earlier, subscribe, comment on these posts, comment on the YouTube. I'm sure Chris would be more than happy to answer any questions you have. But a big thank you to Chris for coming on here, and check him out at linkifi.co.uk. Is that right?
.io.
Linkifi.io.
Yeah, although .co.uk does redirect, so you'll be fine with that one.
Well, there you go. All right.
And go and listen to, if you want to hear Vince talk more and me talk less, you can go listen to the podcast episode he did on our show as well, Market Movers.
Yeah. All right. Thanks a lot. And thanks for listening, everybody. Take care.
Thanks, Vince.